Pavan, Mr. Takeuchi, Nirmal, Deepak, Sanjay, Vinny, and to all my good friends from ACMA, whom I believe are, over the last few years, very much a part of my family. It feels like coming home here again today. I was just seeing the agenda of your engagements at the 64th annual session. Something very close to this government's heart. We are all focused on making India a developed nation by 2047. We are all very, very committed towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant India. But we don't wish to close the doors to international engagement, be it import or export. But we want fair, competitive conditions in which we develop the nation to become a developed nation. And I'm so delighted that today's theme talks about everything that I believe in, that this government believes in, that I've articulated on more than one occasion at your annual conventions or different meetings which I have attended. You're talking about the theme of Viksit Bharat. You're looking at fostering self-reliance. You are promoting global competitiveness. And I think in some sense, you are reflecting the spirit of New India. भारत की आत्मा आज आप सबके अंदर है, आप सबके बीच में. आत्मा हो या आत्मा हो, दोनों में से उसके बगैर काम चल ही नहीं सकता है. कि ऐसा ना समझे कि मुझे लगा मैं आत्मा की मीटिंग में आया हूं. तो वैसे भी आत्मा की मीटिंग में इतने प्लेयर्स तो हो भी नहीं सकते. पर आपका दिल बड़ा है, आपका प्यार भी बहुत ज्यादा है मेरे ऊपर, स्नेह बहुत ज्यादा है. इसलिए आज थोड़ा दिन व्यस्त दिन था. आप सब जानते हैं द क्राउन प्रिंस ऑफ UAE is in Delhi. Since yesterday we have all been tied up in this very, very important, extremely timely and strategic visit to India. But the love and affection of ACMA will always pull me to come and meet all of you and be a part of your program. Friends, I'd like to take off from where Pavan Goenka left. Of course, my friends were very worried that ये हमारी कोई मिली भगत है, this is some fixed match, that Pavan will come and say $500 billion till 2047, I will come and keep increasing it. But that's not really what we are trying to do. First of all, I think it's important, while we recognize 2047 as a landmark, as something we are all committed to work towards, we cannot lose sight of intermediate goals, the milestones in the journey. I think it's important we also see what will happen in the next 12 months, what will happen in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. We'll have to really assess, reassess, calibrate, recalibrate, reset goals along this journey. And I would very much like to hear from your industry collectively, but of course it can only come out of an aggregation of different segments of the ACMA value chain, where you see yourself 12 months from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And as we set our vision and our targets towards achieving the final mission of 2047, I think we'll be able to make policy choices also. We'll be able to assess what you need from the government today, tomorrow, and thereafter. What's urgent? What needs to be addressed ASAP? What should have been done yesterday? How do we get since I see some of the CM members also here, how do we get automobiles off the dealers' books and his showrooms into the market so that more automobiles can be produced and sold? Because that's ultimately your bread and butter. Of course, the icing comes possibly from spares, or your industry, your ACMA equally has the spares component. Though I do think that you still need to market this for the after-sales, aftermarket, for the spares section. You need to really educate customers how important it is to use OEM products. As a customer myself, today of course I'm much wiser, but if I look back 30, 35 years ago, even I was tempted to buy material off the shelf. And I'm a Mumbai card, so where all of those are available in Mumbai. There's a natural temptation. You only become wiser as you start learning life cycle value and you start learning the benefits of going for high quality, genuine material. The raw material is correct, the raw material has the right amount of nickel so that it lasts the right amount of years, the right amount of warranty that many automobile dealers or companies have started giving, the extended warranties. I think that's something our component sector needs to actually run a campaign, literally reaching out through social media or other means to every single automobile user, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, commercial vehicles even more so. We need to educate them that the value he pays for an OEM product will always be far less in terms of the value that is getting, the service that is getting, the years of service that he gets, the safety that is inherent in original products, so that your industry can become much more ambitious. And then when you collectively look at the new automobile market and the after sales, I think the future for your sector is absolutely bright. There's nobody who can compete with the Indian component manufacturer, nobody in the world. And this is what attracts me and brings me closer to all of you. I know that in so many of our free trade agreement discussions and negotiations, we have to struggle with Indian industry to try and get them on board, to try and make them understand the benefits of free trade agreement, open markets, competition, the benefits that we will also gain with improved technology, improved efficiency. But very often, many sectors are not able to understand that easily. Some don't understand it ever. But I must acknowledge that the component manufacturers, the auto component manufacturers, is one sector that has been really bold when it came to world competition from anywhere in the world, has been proactive in all FTA negotiations, has led from the front when it came to any international delegations, international expositions, exhibitions. Bharat Mobility is testimony to the success of our entire value chain, right from the raw material to technology, to components, to tires, to automobile industry, to commercial vehicles, to construction equipment, the entire value chain coming together, showcasing the India story, showcasing Bharat's achievements and what we can do, what we can offer the world, how we can be competitive, has truly been an amazing journey. And I'm given to understand Bharat Mobility this year is going to be even grander, probably twice or thrice the size of last year. It's going to be earlier this year, sorry, not even last year. It's going to be bigger, better, and it's going to reach out to the world, at least 40 or 50 countries who are also being invited to participate, so that we can show to the world, you want to talk automobiles, you want anything related to the auto sector, one-stop shop, Bharat. And that's the story that has to go out to the world. And I'm really proud that ACMA has successfully put India's automobile sector, India's capabilities, India's competitiveness, our competitive advantages on the world map. You have very successfully taken Made in India to the rest of the world. My compliments to each and every one of you for the wonderful work you are doing. I believe we are now the third largest auto market. Is that acceptable to all of you? Okay, let's put it another way. We are the fifth largest GDP in the world, and at that point of time, we are the third largest auto sector in the world. We expect to become the third largest GDP in the world in the next 3 years. By that logic, if we jump 2 points, but I do appreciate we have to be practical. We may not get there in 3 years, but can we start drawing up a roadmap? Can we start seeing what needs to be done next? I'll give you a simple message I received probably 5 or 6 days ago, or a week ago. A very large German company, as a matter of respect, I will not take the name. Very large as in everyone in this room would have heard of its name. In a sector very much associated with all of us. Has possibly in the stock market gone down to zero value. Now the gentleman who sent me that message was urging me, India needs to buy it off. This is the time. Why doesn't some of our company or government go and buy it off? Now you know that government will not be in a position to take a decision overnight, assess the pros and cons, the valuation, negotiate with the receiver, or if any, or negotiate with the German government for what concessions are required. But any one of you can possibly do that from the private sector. But with that company will come large amount of technologies, enviable technologies, which India could do wonders with. And why I'm giving this example, I'm sure the same must be happening in different parts of the world, in the auto component sector, in the tire sector, in various other industries associated with the auto industry. If we were to combine our organic growth with a certain amount of inorganic outreach across the world, if we were to get some investments put into R&D, and the government is soon going to come out with the guidelines for the Anusandhan NRF, the National Research Foundation, where 1 lakh crores has been allocated for supporting public-private academia partnerships to do R&D for different industries, and I hope all of you will take benefit of that. If we were to look at our agreements with different countries, let's say we did the EFTA agreement with Switzerland, Norway, Liechtenstein, and Iceland. Now they are committed to put in $100 billion in India. They don't have much manufacturing in those 4 countries. But they do have some technologies. They would certainly be interested, even if they don't have a particular technology, in markets, in investing for profits, for growth. And given the competitive edge that Indian companies have in your sector, I won't be surprised if you can attract some good investments from the EFTA countries to come to India. I wouldn't be surprised if we can start getting many more messages like the one Rahul Bharti from Maruti sent to me about a month ago, with 1,600 cars lined up at the port, ready to be shipped out to Japan. We need to see much more of that. We need to hear of 10 of our companies doing what Mr. Deepak Shetty of JCB has done, where he's brought the entire world market at the command of JCB, selling now to 130 countries. 130 countries are serviced and sold construction equipment from India. And I'm saying this to you because I'm sure many of you may be suppliers into that construction equipment of JCB. The world is our stage, friends. Let's go for it. And let's not look at small ambitions. Let's be big in our dreams. Let's look at capturing the opportunities that the world has to offer, particularly in new age technologies, electric vehicles, of course, straight away comes to mind, and the associated ecosystem with that, which I'm sure Bharat Mobility this time will reflect in a much bigger way. They're getting bicycles on board also. That sector needs to grow in India. We used to have an edge once upon a time. We've lost a lot of that edge in the last 3 or 4 decades. Lots can be done, friends. We on our part are developing 20 industrial smart cities with the complete ecosystem that you require. I would urge some of you to examine and see if you want me to dedicate 1 or 2 of those to your industry. I'm happy to do that. Should you tell me that, okay, this 1,000 acres or 500 acres or the whole of the Biggie industrial township of 6,000 acres, ACMA wants to take over, develop it to suit yourselves. Develop it to suit your collaborators. I've offered to Singapore, for example, that we'll create a Singapore for you in India. We'll have restaurants from Singapore working there. We'll have hotels. We'll have maybe a golf course to your liking. We'll have a school and college so that expats who come from Singapore are comfortable and the studies are fungible, or whatever is the right word. I'm sorry, I'm a finance guy, so my words are still, whatever, the education systems are compatible. That's right. So let's see what we can do to think out of the box, to think big. I can assure you my 24-hour attention to any ideas and any thoughts and any requests that come to me from your sector. You can consider me your own. I'm happy to be a part of this journey, and I'm sure while Pawan has set a target of 2047, I still hold on to my 2030 target, which was, thank you, Deepak remembers, $100 billion. You have already crossed 21 and a half. Believe me, it may sound tall to you, but once this group sitting before me makes up its mind, starts fleshing down that target into elements of your sector, specifically seeing what will be done by each one of you. How will we capture world markets in shock absorbers? How will engines start being manufactured in a bigger way for India, for the world? What do we do about seats? Do we still need to get, I'm told some of the airlines still need to import seats. I don't understand why. Many of our component manufacturers still import. I don't know whether under compulsion or voluntarily. The needs of their inputs from Korea, Taiwan, Japan, and our northern neighbor. I don't understand why even 2 or 3 levels down, we cannot plan to become indigenous suppliers and manufacturers so that we can then start supplying those components to other countries. Because with scale, and with 1.4 billion aspirational Indians whose income levels are on the rise, we'll find a much bigger market for within the country with the large Indian market. When you add the international possibilities, I think economies of scale, your high quality, the talent that you have, your skills, your commitment, and the hard work that each one of you is putting in will certainly help take this industry to $100 billion of export by 2030. It will help us in making this one of the largest job generators in the country. You are even today contributing hugely to jobs in India, but going forward, I have absolutely no doubt that yours is one sector that is the pride of India, that will help young men and women craft a wonderful career ahead of them. You will add to India's forex reserves. You will add to India's forex earnings. You will bring down your imports so that we are confident that even in adverse circumstances, be it a pandemic, a war, or a Red Sea type of crisis, our auto sector will not suffer. And I'm very sure that with the collective commitment of one of the finest sectors of India, we have only one way, and that is up. Let's go for it, friends. Let's make this story led by ACMA and all of you wonderful friends from the competent manufacturing industry. Let's make this the defining story of the decade, if not the century. Thank you very much.
Very much, Honourable Minister, sir, for this very inspiring and motivating address, complementing the competitive edge of our industry, and at the same time encouraging believe in yourself, sharing your vision of a deeply localized and globally competitive industry, and encouraging everyone to be on the top of the charts and being big on your dreams, but doing it in a more sustainable and a self-reliant manner. Thank you, Honourable Minister, sir, for being our industry minister. And there's a special token of thanks and appreciation, gratitude, which we would like to express to the Honourable Minister, requesting our President. Please join us, ladies and gentlemen, once again thanking the Honourable Minister, sir, for being our minister. The encouraging also asks from the industry and extending his all his support to the industry. Thank you, Minister, sir. And in conclusion, requesting Mr. Vikrampati Singhania, Vice President ACMA, to propose a vote of thanks for the session.
Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Goenka, Takeuchi-san, Sanjay, Mindaji, Deepak, Shraddha, Vinny, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and namaskar. It's indeed a pleasure to propose this vote of thanks to somebody who is one of our own. Your insightful address has been truly enriched our understanding of the evolving trade dynamics and your vision for making India a global leader in manufacturing, and has inspired us all. I'll share with you a small story. When we'd gone to invite Honorable Minister, he was at a Udyog Samagam, which is an industrial ministerial conference. And there he was talking about best practices between states. He was talking about benchmarking between states. He was talking about cross-learning between states. He was talking about scale-up between states. He was talking to the ministers about invest for the future. And he was talking about delivering to the customer what you promise. How can you not get the best from a minister of industry and commerce that understands the industry so well? Sir, your unwavering support for the automotive and the auto component industry, particularly through initiatives like the PLI, has provided us with the much needed impetus to strive for greater innovation, competitiveness, and self-reliance. We much appreciate the consultative process and receptiveness of the Commerce and Industry Ministry to our recommendations and suggestions. As you know, we are working with SIAM to work an Automotive Mission Plan 2047, as you rightly suggested, short-term ambitious growth of plan of 100 billion exports in the medium term, and then as you and Goenka ji have said, that we will take the 2047 goal in our stride as we go forward. But for that, sir, we need your continued support and blessing and the love that we always get from you. Once again, thank you for your time, for your insights, and for your unwavering commitment to the industry. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you once again, Shri Piyush Goyal ji. The spark which he has ignited in this hall, to be all collaborating, coming together towards this larger vision, contributing to the larger vision of Viksit Bharat. All of us stand motivated and inspired from his address. And sure, that's the impact his words have created in the industry.